Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about confidence and self-understanding. Keep in mind this is all going to be my own personal perspectives on things, my own thoughts, and if you don't agree with it, that's fine. Life is all about learning, so if you have anything to offer or suggest in the way that I choose to view things, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. So let's get started with why I think this subject is important. In life, there's going to be dilemmas we come across, there are many desires we have, and there are many things we may not know how to deal with. Understanding yourself is something that I believe provides you with the groundwork to help you deal with specific situations in your life. It also helps you gain control of your life. You gotta keep in mind everyone is different, but I sincerely believe if we are able to understand ourselves, the things we choose to do and why we choose to do them, the world would be a better place. That's not to say that the world is going to be perfect if we all do this, but at least we'd be more organized on how to go about the path. Self-understanding is also a great tool when it comes to understanding others. I'm gonna make a different video on that subject though, so like, subscribe, or whatnot. So how do we go about understanding ourselves? You might think you know enough about yourself. Have you really taken the time to sit down and think about why you choose to do the things you do? Have you established a goal you're aiming for? Are you happy in life? One of the things to keep in mind is that people tend to act on a whim. We're influenced by our emotions and perspectives to act a specific way due to the situations we find ourselves in. Think about those times when you find yourself angry or sad. You gotta realize that these emotions can sometimes cloud your judgment. They prevent you from thinking rationally and oftentimes lead you to making choices you may regret. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to feel these emotions, but the purpose of this video is to help give you the tools to empower you in gaining more control over your life. So to answer the question previously asked, deep self-reflection. That's how you go about understanding yourself. This is important because it encourages you to view the world through a solid perspective. Defining a baseline or a foundation for your character will help you see things through a lens more aligned with who you are. Hopefully, this will also help you see things in a better light. The idea is that it'll help you react naturally and in an understandable way. It's not good to deny your feelings or force yourself to act a certain way. So rather than trying to control your emotions, I encourage you to try to change your perspective on things instead. While there are many things that could be addressed to help you gain more confidence and self-understanding, I'm going to go through a list I made. So let's get started with point 1. Defining your reality and your values. If you've seen my previous video, Guide to Subtle Attraction, you'll know what I'm talking about. Understanding your values in life will set up the groundwork for almost anything you choose to do. It'll be the reason for your insecurities, understanding, and your goals. If you can be aware of what it is you value about life, you'll be more prepared in dealing with any issues that come your way. Oftentimes, your values in life are what help define your reality. This is due to the implications caused by its existence to you. These implications are the possible outcomes that this value can bring to you, or how it can affect your life. An example would be dependence. You value something greatly to the point where you depend on it. Then once it's gone, it causes you great distress. I encourage you to set up some time for yourself to think about what it is you value in life and how it affects you. Here are some examples. Money, family, friends, community, religion, self-independence, home, a job you love, food, animals, equality, your country, traveling. It can be anything really. Once you understand this, you will be ready to tackle deeper questions about the points of your life that may cause you that great distress. Use this understanding to help you answer the questions about yourself so that way you can develop answers that will give you more confidence. Point 2. Understanding you have time. Oftentimes we feel rushed to accomplish things or to resolve issues. It's important to understand that at this moment you have your time to think. Unless you're living dangerously, you probably won't be blindsided by something that will end your possibilities. Take the time to breathe and think about how you want to handle a situation. Even in an intense conversation, it's okay to stop 10 seconds to think. Silence can be a powerful thing as well, especially when you want to prove a point. If you feel like you're losing something important to you, understand that rushing into things may not help. It's good to give yourself time as well as things you value their space. I often say time is good for returning things back to their natural state of being. I mean, if you get cut, give it some time to heal. If you feel like you hurt someone's feelings, it's good to give them some time to cool off. When you spend too much time trying to resolve an issue, you might make things worse. Like picking at a scab that just needs to be left alone. Time is not always a bad thing. With that said, it's also important to be aware of the situations you find yourself in. It's all about using common sense. Common sense, which is better achieved when you can understand your values more. Point 3. You have a voice and a choice. Never make the mistake of believing your voice is not worth hearing. People often say there's no dumb questions. While that may not be true, that doesn't mean other people may not have that same dumb question. Because of that, your dumb questions won't be considered dumb. In the end, we are all dumb to some degree, which is why living in a society is very helpful. We can each work to build ourselves up and answer these questions together. Using your voice can help you gain a better understanding of the situations you find yourself in, as well as be a light for anyone else who was too afraid to ask their own questions. Using your voice is also a way to help you feel more empowered. It helps you gain and navigate control of the conversations you have. Just be sure to remember that everyone else deserves to have a moment to share their concerns as well. Listening is equally important after all. An example would be our court systems, which were developed in a way to give everyone an equal opportunity to present their case. Now, whether or not others believe what it is you choose to share with them, it's not really up to you. At least you can give them the opportunity to decide for themselves. Point 4. It's best to not always think in extremes. I understand people can feel attacked, ignored, or maybe even praised too much in life. What you gotta understand is that we are only capable of seeing things through our eyes. Because of this, our experiences make us feel like reality is centered around us. Truth is, most of the time people don't base their actions around you. So let's say someone said something that makes you believe they don't like you. That might not be true. Maybe they were too focused on something else to really consider the words they chose to share with you. Truth is, the little things you do only increase the chances of something happening or feeling a specific way. Life is all about consistency. If you keep making the same mistake, that's when extremes are more than likely to happen. But even then, everything and everyone has their own measure of tolerance. In the meantime, understand you can always reevaluate your actions to better handle the situations in the future. Part 5. Even the most despicable of people have someone that sees them in a positive light. Don't feel like everyone hates you. Just the same, don't feel like everyone loves you either. You are not the center of the world. Even if you amass a great following, not everyone is going to agree with you. Jared Leto, BTS, Oprah, Jordan Peterson, they all have a wide influence amongst a lot of people. They also have people who don't agree or follow them. You may never know when someone hates you or loves you, but don't put yourself down because you believe that you can't please everyone. Likewise, don't believe that you can please everyone, so just keep that idea of balance in your head. Part 6. Sometimes people won't understand you, and that's okay. I once knew a girl who disliked me simply because I entered into a conversation she was having with a friend of mine. She was under the assumption that I didn't know either of them, and I was just trying to be nosy. Later in life, I had the opportunity to talk to her. I explained myself, told her I knew that guy, he was my good friend, and she let me know that she had the wrong idea about me. We became good acquaintances. I dare say I made a good friend that day as well. The point is, sometimes people are too quick to judge you. This could be because of their past experiences. Whatever the case is, your ideas or your presence may not be accepted easily. And that's okay, because you know you have time and a possibility to change their perspectives of you. Remember, every day we grow and every moment is a possibility for change. If you ever come across people that don't understand you, don't feel rushed to try to change their perspectives. Give it time, and when the moment's right, you'll have the opportunity to explain yourself better. Even then, don't feel obligated to try and explain yourself. You gotta ask yourself, is this person worth it? Part 7. Most of the time, the impressions you leave behind are not permanent. The idea is, you have time and you can change things, or things can change. When you leave an impression on someone, more than likely they'll forget about it if you never talk to them again. And if you do talk to them again, you've been given the opportunity to change their opinions about you. It also helps to not linger on whatever it was that you believe brought that negative view on you. Unless it's something important, just don't mention it. If it is important, spend some time thinking about how you could see the problem through a different perspective and develop a plan to help remedy the issue. Sometimes it helps to try to see things through their perspectives. If you can't find an answer, at the very least, you can acknowledge the existence of the problem. Share that with the person you feel you're having this issue with, and they may appreciate it, perhaps even offer their own view on that subject, which in turn will probably help you find the solution. Compromising your ideas or perspectives is also something to consider. How much value do you believe your idea holds versus theirs? Is there a middle ground you can find to at least help you both get by? Chances are your concerns are not world-changing. This pretty much minimizes the importance of trying to prove yourself right or trying to be right. Part 8. You can always work on improving yourself, even in the aspects of your life that bring you insecurity. If you ever feel like there's something about your life that you can improve on, then I say go for it. If you feel like you're too weak, then work out. If you feel like you lack communication skills, then read a book or watch videos about how to improve your skills. If you think you're leaving a bad impression on people, spend some time to think about why that is and develop a strategy to change that. Use your knowledge that you have time and the understanding that the consequences of your actions may not be as severe as you think. You can always study or train yourself in the aspects of life you feel you are not ready for. Think about where you might find yourself in the future. If you're going to a country club, study how to dance country. Alternatively, you can embrace the fact that you don't know, nor will you ever learn to dance country, and just dance randomly. This may not be the best strategy to impress people, but it will definitely make people believe you have confidence. Part 9. You can fake it till you make it. So there's this thing in psychology labeled foot in the door. Essentially, it's a way to influence people to agree to a large request they may not agree with in the beginning. An example would be asking to borrow $1,000. More than likely, people won't agree to lend you that amount of money, but let's say you start off by asking them to borrow $1, paying them back, and increasing the value. Over time, if you're consistent, they might lend you $1,000 when you ask it them. This is mainly because you build that trust and confidence in them. I use this idea to help give me encouragement when it comes to talking to women or people in general, because back then, I didn't have the confidence to talk to a lot of people, and especially didn't have the confidence to talk to women. Using this idea, I started out with talking with guys first. My logic was they'd be less judgmental since they understood what it meant to be a guy, so I could relate to them more, which it helped. And after getting used to that, I started talking to women like I would a guy. Keep in mind, I try to be respectful of everyone. So if you feel like it's okay to talk brash with people, well, that might be concerning. Anyways, the idea was to be friendly with people. Later on, I started asking for numbers and going out on dates. Eventually, I became comfortable with the idea of talking to anyone. For quickest results, but probably more traumatizing, it's the faking it till you make it idea. Pretend to be confident, and you'll end up being rejected so often to the point where it doesn't even faze you. I'll give you a story a friend named Matthew once told me. He said, "At the mall, I was once with the guy who told me 1 in 10 women will say yes." He then went up to 10 women and asked for physical intimacy. I asked Matthew, how'd it go with your friend? Like, what happened? Matthew told me, he got slapped by 10 women, that's what happened. He then said, the point is, don't be afraid of rejection. Point 10, fear encourages you to give up. Giving up reduces your chances by a lot. I think about all the possibilities we can achieve as individuals. I also understand that people are sometimes afraid to achieve their dreams. The idea is simple. When you give up on your dreams due to fear, you give up on the possibility to achieve your dreams. This goes for any kind of goals you set up for your life as well. Someone once told me, fear is the #1 reason why we can't achieve things. To overcome this, think about your goals and how much they mean to you. The decision is up to you. I won't say aiming for your goals is always worth it. After all, life is always changing. But be open-minded, understanding of your situation, and use that to help you decide what you want to do. Point 11. Don't let fear cause you to act desperate or irrationally. This idea is best remedied by understanding you have time. I've known plenty of people who try to rush things because they believe their possibility to achieve their goals are cut off entirely if they don't act now. Most of the time that's not true. You gotta understand that most things aren't permanent, and if you are in a time-sensitive issue, then at the very least try to think rationally. If you allow yourself to become highly emotional, you might prevent yourself from coming up with the best course of action. Keep calm, understand your situation, and act accordingly. Point 12. Sometimes it's best to let go. I saw an anime where one of the main characters was trying to cook an eel. He was struggling with grabbing the eel from the bucket nearby the food stand he was at. The woman beside him was chuckling and explained to him, "Eels are like women. If you hold them down forcefully, they'll run away." When you struggle to force things to happen, you might end up losing your chance for it to happen. It's best to let go of feeling like you need to control a situation and let people decide for themselves. You'll gain more respect for that. When I found myself trying to impress women who were expressive about not finding me attractive, I would just move on. Most of the time I never saw them again, but sometimes it would give me the chance to get to know them afterwards. Don't let go purely as a way to manipulate the situation, but let go with the idea that it's okay if things don't go your way. It's best to be genuine with your actions. Otherwise, you'll definitely lose respect. Point 13. Sometimes thinking you're the problem is the problem. You tell yourself things never go your way, and when you see an issue in your life, you're probably blaming yourself for the outcome. Truth is, you're not always the reason why people choose to do things they do. If you believe otherwise, you're probably acting in a way that makes people feel like they're being forced to do things. They'll feel like they're walking on eggshells around you. If you want to make a better outcome, then don't make people feel obligated to keep you happy. Happiness comes from within yourself. If you find you're only happy when someone is around, then understand you're placing your value on them. When you place your value on someone, it causes a tense vibe between you two, and it might not be healthy. After all, we are human and we make mistakes. And if you place your dependence on someone, your value on someone, you might be disappointed if they don't react in a way that you expect from them. So have confidence in yourself, and in return, It'll help you react to situations around you more genuinely and without placing expectations on others. It's a good way to naturally help you navigate through life. Point 14. It helps to have goals in your life. When you're living life just to live, you might find yourself feeling trapped. It's good to have goals so at the very least you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Having goals will motivate you to accomplish your dreams. It will also serve as a way to prevent you from feeling hopeless or bored with your current state of things. These goals don't have to be grand. They can be as simple as learning how to dance or cook. If you do have big goals, it also helps to establish smaller ones to help pave the way to achieve your main goal. Is your goal to get married? Set up smaller goals to learn how to be romantic. Is your goal to have a good job? Maybe even run your own business. Set up smaller goals to learn what you need to achieve that main goal. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to include them down in the comments section below. If you like my video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. I'm just starting out and I'm still getting a feel for what it is that you guys enjoy, what kind of content I want to focus on. But yeah, let me know. And thank you for tuning in. Take care.